and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Oh, good morning. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. What's the date today? Is it December? No, it's November 30th. Tomorrow is December 1. Good morning, Bakers. What's going on? The Wake and Jake community. The chat's going. We're back at it, baby. Everyone did whatever you did for Thanksgiving. You probably visited family. People probably weren't happy about that. But your family was probably be safe, blah, blah, blah. Guys, sports always happens, is what we've found out. We're in a pandemic. We did sports stuff when there was no sports being played. And BBD, I'm going through everything we've missed in the past few days. Jake Paul, Nate Robinson boxing match. Maradona passes away. One of the most famous plays in sports history.
Right.
Sarah Fuller making news for my Commodores, Vandy. BBD, I think we are going to start with the game of the night, and the game of the night is taking a little bit of a plot twist from the normal game of the night. We're starting with my favorite football team. My favorite football team. Jake, what football team would you want to watch play today? The Denver Broncos. Love Terrell Davis. Went to a Broncos game a couple years ago for my birthday. Got some good clips of me drunk at a Broncos-Jets game. Well, speaking of drunk, the Denver Broncos, it was the story of sports from Saturday night on. Their quarterback room got the COVID. / Jeff Driscoll got COVID, one of their backups. The Broncos quarterbacks were in a meeting, and not all of them were wearing their masks. So with the NFL rules this year, you have to do the 5-day gestation period. Didn't say that word right. For the COVID. And with the COVID rules, you can't bring in anyone to play football. They need to go through a 3-day process or something like that. So the Broncos went to their practice squad, and they brought Kendall Hinton, former Wake Forest quarterback, on the Broncos practice squad as a wide receiver. And it was ugly, BBD. And Kendall Hinton deserves all the love in the world. He went back there and did everything he was asked to do, which is really tough. I will say this. His stat line ends up 1 for 9, 13 yards, 2 interceptions. They broke records. It was, the first team with more interceptions than completions. It's the first team to not have a quarterback on their roster since 65 or something. A bit of a disaster. They kept it close. It was 0-0 after 1, and that was kind of the Broncos' game plan. New Orleans is a really good football team. They go to 9-2. Taysom Hill, couple running touchdowns. Latavius Murray, couple rushing touchdowns. Just to run, I think that's to twist the knife a little bit. Like, we got 4 rushing touchdowns. I think they only threw for 78 yards. But they had a couple quarterbacks. So it was the story in sports yesterday. I think it was fun to talk about. And I've been thinking about it a lot because it's a brutal spot. It's a brutal spot. Orlovsky is now killing the Broncos. How could the QBs not have masks? Blah, blah, blah. I get it. Kendall Hinton, man, go watch some of the highlights of what he was trying to do. I don't want to say, here's what I'll say. This guy is a world-class athlete. He's went to Wake Forest on a college scholarship. He played quarterback there. He's on the Denver Broncos practice squad as a wide receiver. This guy is 1% of a 1% athlete. Watch what it looked like while he was trying to play quarterback. And given this is also on like 12 hours notice, so that's also pretty brutal.
Didn't he say before getting the word that they needed a quarterback, he hadn't like thrown a football like period in 3 weeks or something?
Yeah, and the internet was doing great stuff. I mean, I had my first day of work tweet. I saw someone that was Kendall Hinton passing highlights, and they were from training camp, and it's just him catching the ball and tossing it to the ball boy. Here's what I will say. I wanted the Broncos to have a little more fun / be a little more creative. Like a shovel pass is a pass, and at least you're doing something different, and maybe you could build his confidence up a little bit. And do a couple rollout one-read throws, but they went very football with it. A lot of direct snaps to Phillip Lindsay. A lot of trying to be cheeky. We just showed the one play up there. It was the nice completed pass to Fant. The only completed pass. And I guess that's the question. How come there wasn't a little bit more of that? It was brutal. I would have liked to see the Broncos coaches have a little more fun, try to get a little more creative. I know there's limited time.
There's only so much you could do, but it went as expected.
Yeah, and again, like I'm not saying the result would have been different, but that's why I'm saying you should have had a little more fun with it. Throw a couple just deep balls. Like these guys, we've all played football in the street. Like, line up 2 wide receivers on the outside, have everybody go deep. What's the worst that can happen? Did you see the end of the Bills game where the Chargers hucked up a Hail Mary and caught it? Like, what's the real difference after a certain point? So I was a little mad about the Broncos. It was the story of the sport. I'm happy for Kendall Hinton. I mean, it's a weird moment. Everyone he comes across for the rest of his life is going to be like, what? But I don't know. It was the story of football. There really weren't any great games yesterday. In this COVID football Broncos, it was the story. So Saints 31, Broncos 3. Bug dude.
Yeah.
Producer BBD.
I don't fully know how like labeling people as the starter works in football because I feel like it gets weird, but kind of because weren't the first 2 plays technically just direct snaps and he wasn't on the field? Did he not like get credited with a start technically? That would suck.
That would suck. I don't know how that works because sometimes you'll see that. I always wonder that for Monday Night Football because they do the videos and they'll be like, bug dude, the U. But they'll start out 5 wide, and you're like, well,
there was an extra guy here that we definitely didn't say.
Does the running back get the star? I don't know how that works. Good for him. He's got a memory. Again, Broncos coaches, I would have liked to see them take some more liberties, and I'm sure there's going to be some football hardos that come at me and are like, bro, you ever been back there? They're like, no, obviously not. Definitely not. I would not have been an option. Even if I was in the Broncos COVID bubble, they never would have said, Jake, get back there. But, I don't know. Yeah. Like, run deep. Have a tight end distract a safety and have a wide receiver run deep.
Just see what happens.
Just see what happens, because look at the end result. I guess that's where I feel confident about it. The end result was 31-3. If you just chucked up a couple deep balls for fun, what's the difference? Do you throw one? You throw an interception and the final score is 38-3? Like, who really cares? So, little disappointed my Broncos didn't have more fun. Crazy. People were saying the Broncos got screwed and stuff. They definitely tried to make an example out of them, and it is whatever. So, BBD.
Almost activated the coach.
Yeah, man, that was
funny
pretty
headline.
Wild. I mean,
knows the offense.
I'm sure people are already making their 2020 documentaries, and people are getting crazy with the 2020 stuff, the monolith thing, how the monolith showed up in the Utah desert. Like, influencers found where it was, like, the next day. They were like, we're not going to reveal the location. And people were like, well, there's technology.
This dude just found it. So.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of, like, tourists looking at the monolith, and then it was gone the next day. And everyone's like, whoa, aliens, bro. And it's like, well. Or, like, some hipster's got it in his trunk right now and is like, look at this.
I got it.
Monolith in the trunk. But yeah, I mean, when people do real documentaries on 2020, and I want them to cover everything. I mean, I'm talking sports, I guess politics and stuff, weird stuff, coronavirus. Like, this Broncos-Saints game should be circled. And it probably will be in football circles.
Yeah.
Like, every time...
We're going to call back to this. Every time these two teams play each other.
Yeah. Every time a quarterback has a historically bad game, it'll be compared to this game, I guess. And they'll be like, wait, what was that? Oh, yeah. He wasn't a quarterback.
It's the worst quarterback rating since that game a not quarterback played.
And I guess the other part where I want to be tougher on the Broncos. I was texting some of my buddies last night and it's like, why was there no more creativity? And people are like, man, they had about 12 hours. Like, from figuring out that they were going to use Kendall Hinton to making up a game plan. I don't know. Play a little backyard football. Have some fun about it. That's the game of the night. And the game of the night was brought to you by the Jomboy Media Store. It's Cyber Monday, technically. So
yeah.
we've had you guys know, the real ones in the chat know, we're a fake real business. We've had our Black Friday sale going from Wednesday. We've got it running through Monday. Go to the store, Jomboy Media. I loaded up a lot of sweaters. I guess I'm going to be a sweater guy this year. A lot of sweaters, and they're pretty good. And my thing with that is you're going to be doing... There will be a weird
double takes.
There's going to be a weird 2020 ugly sweater trend, whether it's like Zoom dates or whatever it is. If we all go on lockdown again, like Zoom ugly sweater parties will be a thing. So, and I think they're like $26 right now. So, yeah. Go check that out. Jomboy Media Store, Cyber Monday. And buy something weird too. I think I'm going to buy like every Instagram ad I see today. And just freak out.
Yeah,
so,
you tweeted you were going to do that.
Yeah, man.
Kind of a tough thing to publicly say you're going to do.
Yeah, and I mean, my Instagram ads are probably falling now. I'm probably a hot ticket in, like, the Instagram ad community right now. And it's good to be wanted, you know?
Being pursued.
Let's do the rest of the scores, BBD. Last we checked in with everyone was pre-Monday. Let's do the football. There's basketball news. Again, like, baseball, Mike Minor signing? Hot stove. Let's burn through the football, BBD. Let's do the Thanksgiving games. The Texans blow out the Lions, which also leads to the Lions getting their head coach, Matt Patricia, fired. I think I alluded to that last episode. And their GM, I think he's a UConn guy, so I'm kind of sad about that, but it was time. The Lions are a disaster, and they're back at it. Texans 41, Lions 25. The Washington football team took over first place in the NFC East. We'll be talking more about that. Antonio Gibson, he's a stud out of Memphis, second year. He was kind of a slash guy there. He is tearing it up, 115, 3 touchdowns. Cowboys stink. Dak is going to get paid, huh? How about that? And then, oh my God, the Steelers-Ravens was supposed to be Thanksgiving. That's a whole nother mess. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we won't. Speaking of messes, the New York Jets, man. Woo!
It's bad.
I don't get it. How is Adam Gase employed? In a not rude way to the person of Adam Gase. So, I think he's got kids and stuff and a wife. So how is he employed?
The person Adam Gase isn't doing himself a whole lot of favors, if we're being honest.
Oh, my God. The whole I'm taking over the play calling and then denying it after the game. It's unreal. It's unfathomable that we live into this day and age. Whoa. And people can talk like this and think it's real life. Like, the only logical excuse I have for Adam Gase being the head coach is the Jets are genuinely tanking for Trevor Lawrence, which ain't a bad strategy necessarily.
I think it's like all but confirmed. Like, winning, them getting a new coach and like galvanizing the team and winning a couple games only hurts their big picture.
Frank Gore had 16 touches in the first half yesterday. I love Frank Gore. He's awesome. He's doing what running backs do not do anymore. But it's partially because he's on the Jets. And I feel bad that he's taking this many touches. He shouldn't have to. He should be on a good team, getting 10 touches a game. And we're like, Frank Gore, that's pretty cool, man.
He gets like one goal line. He gets like 3 tries in a row there. And then
he's like their star skill player.
That's like what he should be asked to do.
Fitzpatrick revenge game. Dolphins 20, Jets 3. I don't know. I can't talk about that anymore. Speaking of, here's one. The Falcons 43, Raiders 6. My Raiders. I give Gruden a lot of love. This was a West Coast team, goes east and chokes big time. They got destroyed by the Falcons. Carr with a terrible day. Koo, the kicker for the Falcons. Huge day. 21 fantasy points. Know that. Played against him. Stunk. Good for the Falcons. I mean, they're still not going anywhere, but oof. Bills 27, Chargers 17. Speaking of head coaches who are going to get fired, the Chargers head coach, they get the Hail Mary at the end, and then they run up and they do a running play, and NFL is so popular because of the parody, I think. Every team's fan base thinks they have a shot for a little bit. And look at some of the games that got lost yesterday. Like the Chargers were kind of in another game. Patriots-Cardinals we'll get to in a little bit. The Cardinals blew that one. I mean, a late hit basically lost them the game. I'm running hot. Let me slow it down. Bills 27, Chargers 17. Bills are good. And Chargers just can't win. They do everything but win. Speaking of winning, how about 3 straight for BBD's G-Men? Go check out Talkin' Giants. They are running hot. They take over first place in the NFC East because the 4-7 Giants have the tiebreaker against the Washington football team.
2 of the 4 against those guys.
Huge. Huge. Yeah, it got sloppy towards the end. The Bengals kind of had a chance. Graham Gano just started kicking field goals out of his tuchus. Good for the Giants. 3 straight. Daniel Jones does get hurt. Hamstring. We'll see what that looks like for them. Fun times in Giants land. Speaking of fun times, the Titans 46 spot. Tractor Cito. Travis Henry. Travis Henry. That's an old running back. Do you know who that is? Travis Henry. I think he was an old running back on the Bills.
Sure.
This is Derrick Henry. A monster. 178, 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown is a beast for them. Titans scored 46 points. We still have this weird Tannehill stinks thing going on because he was on the Dolphins and he did. Tannehill's been good for them. I mean, they put up points. Their offense is their strength, and a lot of it relates to Derrick Henry, but Tannehill does his job. 46 points. They beat a good Colts team. Colts beat the Packers last week. Packers looked good last night. We'll get there. Panthers, Vikings. This was a good game. Could have been game of the day if anyone really cared, but it's also Vikings, Panthers. Yeah. Vikings come back late. Kirk Cousins, 307, 3 touchdowns. My guy Dalvin Cook got banged up a little bit. But I think, is this right? Are the Vikings technically in that weird...
Based on what ESPN standings told me.
The Vikings are currently in the playoffs as the weird 7th seed we don't fully understand yet. Vikings they're coming back, and we're starting to see, I just mentioned this with the NFL, parity and teams coming back. You know, the Bears, I think they were 5-1. Then the reality check of the NFL came back, and the Vikings, I think they were 1-5 or something like that.
Like 0-4
but
at one point.
They're a good team, so they're coming back 5-6.
There was no preseason.
They come back late. Literally no preseason this year. Panthers are kind of scrappy and fun, though. They gave it their chance. Oh, they had that game-winning field goal kick, which was really ugly. Guy missed it like 30 yards left. Patriots 20, Cardinals 17. Folk with the game winner. I mentioned late hit, high hit on Cam Newton, Isaiah Simmons. I think the high draft pick. Yeah. And again, difference between winning and losing gives them 15 free yards. They kick the field goal. Pats win. Pats are back up to 5-6. Don't be surprised if they win a couple more games. They're going to be in the hunt, whatever that looks like in the
Still
in the
playing
NFL this
relevant football.
year. Yeah, we wanted to write them off, and now here they are. Browns 27, Jags 25. Browns get another win. It's not pretty. They run the ball. Baker not doing impressive stuff. Jarvis Landry with a huge day. Nick Chubb is a beast. 144 and a tutty. Saints Broncos, we did that. Niners 23, Rams 20. Jared Goff. I told you guys last week. I was so happy. I needed 29 points out of him in fantasy football. He gave them to me. Yesterday, 3. He stunk it up. Niners win 23-20. This is a weird one. Rams offense, I think after looking so good, they have to go back to the drawing board. That's a weird one. Niners, hey, NFL, well-coached team, good roster. They're getting healthier. They've been hurt. Chiefs, Bucks, this was an exciting one. Mahomes and Brady. Chiefs win 27-24. Bucks made it close late. It felt like the Chiefs were dominating this game. Tyreek Hill. Oh, my God. Setting records. 269 yards. Nice. 3 touchdowns. Had 200 yards receiving in the first quarter. Mahomes for 462. Crazy that the Bucs somehow were in this game because the Chiefs dominated. 27-24 did not feel that way. And then Bears-Packers, the nightcap. Bears end up getting some points late. They put up a 25 spot. It was 41-10. Man, Packers are still good. I think the bigger story is the Bears are not. The Bears are very much not good. Trubisky was back in. Didn't look good. From what I heard from Bears fans, things looked better, which, again, in a 41-25 loss. And 15 of those points came after you were down 41-10. So what's the defense really doing?
Which is not a pleasant watch as a neutral fan.
Yeah.
Imagine not if you have a rooting interest.
Right. And, hey, Rodgers still doing impressive stuff. So that's kind of the football recap. David Mendelson, what did I miss? Or what do you think needs to be talked about more?
Well, Giants are in first. It's always where my mind goes. The Jones injury isn't fun. And I think he's gonna miss a week because, I don't know. It's the initial reports that it's kind of bad. He's getting an MRI today, so we'll see. Hopefully, they can just miss this week because they probably wouldn't beat the Seahawks anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure this is going around Giants Twitter, but I heard Big Cat say it. He was like, "Hey, get Daniel Jones rested." Like Seahawks in Seattle, I think, right?
Believe so.
So it's like, you know what? And it always drives me nuts that sports teams don't actually think this way. But let's say that game is 70-30. The Seahawks are going to win. Get Daniel Jones healthy. Win the other games instead of risking him getting hurt, missing more time, and blowing your season.
Yeah. Or being just worse when he's back because he's not fully
healthy.
I'm trying to pull up the rest of their schedule just to make sure I'm getting this right. The
Giants
Seahawks,
schedule.
Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Cowboys to finish out. You have to win that Cowboys game.
Yeah.
And you'd like to win at least one of these other ones. I think if you just win that one, you might be fine.
Yeah.
The Seahawks might be the most beatable of those teams, though. Browns probably are.
Yeah, the Browns.
They have won games, though.
Yeah, and I think it's Browns at home. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, see how healthy he is. That race for the NFC East, I mean, we might just be getting in the teeth of it. Happy for the Giants. And that tiebreaker over Washington might be huge, which is disgusting in of itself. Eagles play the Seahawks tonight, right?
Yeah.
So
especially if they can just lose tonight.
We'll see how the Eagles are looking, and the rumor is Jalen Hurts is getting a lot of first-team snaps, so does he come in and look decent? Is he sharing time?
Get a higher snap count. It's
what
everyone's saying, but nobody knows exactly what that means. He's going to get to, like, actually throw passes.
Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I think I've been saying that since week 1.
Yeah, I think so. They're just really good and kept everybody, and
like they
still
came
doing
like it
really
was
well.
the classic NFL, okay, one more drive. If they get a stop, the Bucs are going to get a ball back and all they need is a field goal. And they just toyed with them. They would do 2 run plays and then Reed would call up the perfect pass, and the play that sealed the game, it was Mahomes rolling out. Tyreek Hill is busting down the sidelines, and it looks like he's going. And again, if you watch this game, Tyreek Hill was just running wind sprints past the safeties. So how Chiefs would it be? How Andy Reid would it be? How Mahomes would it be that they were going to send Tyreek Hill deep to seal the game? Nope. He stops. There's nobody within 10 yards of him. Mahomes hits it. That's the game. So, again, that Chiefs score is as deceptive as it comes. I think they are still the story. Titans, I guess, are on the up and up.
They've got everything you want.
Raiders aren't good.
No.
Like, if you wanted to be in the Raiders are good camp, I don't think you can. Yeah, that's kind of it for me. I don't know.
I think we've got it.
Okay, cool. How about that?
Do a standings refresh.
How about
I'm
that?
not missing something.
That's the football. Week 12. We're sneaking up. It's going to be playoff time soon. That's going to be cool.
I mean, assuming Ravens-Steelers happens, that's a big game.
Yeah, that would be
That's
Tuesday,
coming up
soon.
Soon. Yeah.
That's
Ravens
crazy.
not in a playoff spot, and I guess won't have Lamar Jackson if they're playing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how the NFL's
RG3? NFL hasn't canceled a game. They will be quick to tell you that. They've delayed games. That's the football. We did a lot of it. Hope you enjoyed it. Basketball, BBD, training camp starts tomorrow?
At least for the Knicks it does. I assume other teams also start coming in December.
Wow. It's crazy. The Gordon Hayward trade was official. They get some second-round picks. Deep cuts NBA. Batum got stretched. There was rumors the Knicks were going to trade for him. There was rumors OKC were going to trade for him. They didn't find a trade partner. Knicks fans were freaking out a little bit. That's kind of what they do. I guess that's what we do.
There'll be some opportunity to get in on a trade deadline trade.
New talking Knicks, new talking Giants today.
Yeah.
How about that? The tri-state area.
Talking Knicks.
Thank God
Biased,
we don't have. Thank God we don't have a Jets podcast. That would make me mad. I've had a lot of people reach out.
Could be you.
Yeah, I've had a lot of
Keep
people reach
DMing
out.
us.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I'd say that'll do it.
That'll do it. And then the boxing, BBD. I don't know if we want to talk about that a little bit now. Boxing stole the show over this weekend. Everyone was talking Tyson Roy Jones Jr., which I didn't watch that fight. And if you looked up the rules beforehand, you shouldn't have either. Because they couldn't hit each other in the head. So it's just 2 older guys exchanging body blows. It ended in a draw. My buddies were talking about sports gambling it beforehand. And they looked up the rules and they were like, nobody's going to win. So my buddies made some money betting the draw. Because they couldn't hit each other in the head. And then speaking of getting hit in the head, I mean, probably the story of the internet this weekend. So brutal. Nate Robinson, such a cool, fun athlete, so beloved, 3-time slam dunk champion, 5'9", could have played football at UW. Gets knocked out by Jake Paul. And the internet did good stuff. I mean, I love all the memes and all of that. I really do. The internet had their fun, and that's okay, and it sucks for Nate, but you got knocked out.
Yeah.
But, like, everyone was getting mad at Nate Robinson, and Jake Paul, he's in pretty good shape. And he's been doing these boxing things, so he, like, knows how to box.
At least a little bit.
And he's a lot bigger than Nate Robinson, and this is why in fighting, there's weight classes and stuff. And he was the favorite Jake Paul was the favorite in Vegas, money line. So it was funny. Did I send the screenshot? I think I sent it to a chat you were in, BBD. The screenshot that was like, oh, Nate Robinson got hosed. He got fooled or something. And then someone replied to it and was just like, I don't think you know what that means. Because Nate put himself in this situation. And I don't know. Sucks for Big Nate.
I said because somebody said the fight was rigged for Jake Paul.
Yes.
And Nate Robinson shouldn't feel bad because he's not a fighter and he's got a bag anyway. And the guy responded, "You're confusing rigged with just making a bad choice.
Yeah.
When you've never boxed before."
Yeah, I mean, if I get in the ring with Miguel Sano, that fight's not rigged unless I won. That would mean the fight was rigged. Good for weird celebrity boxing. And again, like, I know everyone wants to make a joke about it, but I mean, talk about 2020 stuff. Jake Paul, Nate Robinson boxing match. And, like, we were really excited for this. So, that's the boxing news. Hockey, no. Anything else? I don't think so. I think we'll go to the comments. The comment of the day, BBD. Wake and Jake crew, the bakers, you guys. I ask you to bake the algorithm. You guys do every day. You leave likes, you leave comments, you leave reviews. In the comment section, I want you talking about everything. Talking about how hot we are. Talking about sports stuff. And we actually got some great sports stuff today and one weird one that I love. Love. So, Noche Patata commented, I hope you talk about Maradona on Monday. His hand of God goal could be a good breakdown. True. Maradona passed away, and there's a lot of good Maradona stuff out there and how he went from being so beloved to so hated, and he was also a king, and he got wrapped up in some bad stuff, blah, blah, blah. The hand of God goal is a top 3 play, like, famous sports play in all of sports? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because, I mean, soccer.
Adds up.
I mean, what would even rival soccer? Olympics?
Overall, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, the hand of God play, like, that's something, if you're a sports fan, you've heard about. Because anytime replay or, I don't know, something unfair gets brought up, you kind of point to this play. It's all time. If you don't know, I mean, I'm not going to do it justice, but we just showed it on the screen there, and it looks like it's a header, but he's got his hand up there, and he punches it with his hand, and it goes in, and it's a game-winning. I mean, it's unbelievable. Imagine. It would be a huge imagine if Twitter was around for this. The world would have exploded. One of the best soccer players of all time. One of the most famous plays of all time. And R.I.P., man. Kind of sad. So we had a couple comments asking for some Maradona stuff, so I'm glad they did that. And again, man, this is why I love the world of sports. Like, Maradona is a big name in the sports world. One of the most famous plays all time. Thank you for leaving that comment, Noche Patata. Al Atkinson, a regular, Awaken Jake regular. Love you, Al. With an unbelievable comment. This is dumb and only has little to do with Jake or Biebs, but in my mind, Kotuck and Vanessa Hudgens going out made a load of sense in my mind when I first heard about it. Not being from the States, in my imagination, Arizona and New Mexico are the same place, in the desert next to each other. Kind of true. Kind of true up to this point. And as we all know, High School Musical was set in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So Kotuck being from Arizona and going out with Gabriela Montez makes perfect sense, even if it was ludicrous anyway to think that two people in the same state would just meet and start dating, not to mention the fact that High School Musical isn't real life. Sad face. And I mean, the fact that that's in the comments, along with some Maradona RIP stuff, it means
doing our job.
It means God is good and times are perfect. So, thanks, Al. I
Look, I crunched the numbers and he nailed it.
nailed all of it. Nailed all of it. So thank you guys. Leave a comment. Leave something about sports. Leave something about your sports team. Or how hot I look today. I see it. I know I got my hat on. Turtleneck. McFly blazer. Yeah. Yep. Hot. And BBD, that brings us to the bro tonight. So thank you guys. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Share with a friend. We're having fun. We like sports. We don't care who knows it. Bro of the night. The Bro of the Night award goes to someone who was the bro of the night. You know, sometimes it's the best performance. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's someone who stands out for different reasons. And I love when people think we do cop-out stuff here. I'm doing a hybrid one. Stealing two from you, BBD. And I've got two. Technically, my two favorite football teams as of now. The Denver Broncos and the Vanderbilt Commodores both made records this week in very different ways. Kendall Hinton, talked about him a lot at the top, stepped into an impossible scenario, and I don't think it gets made into a sports movie what Kendall Hinton did. It ends up being a tough stat line and a weird thing. But, man, to stand back there and do that takes some stones. Appreciate you, my man. Playing NFL quarterback while not being a quarterback. There's about 15 people in the world who are good at playing NFL quarterback. And then there's another 30 who are bad at it but are trying.
Good enough to try.
This guy's not even in that pool. So kudos to him. And again, that's where when I go on my rant saying throw a couple deep balls, it's harder to do than it seems. So Kendall Hinton and hey, Sarah Fuller, girl power, being the first, man, being the first. And God, idiot Twitter came out a little bit. And then there's a lot of people that like to rip on idiot Twitter, and then that almost feeds them a little more. First Power 5 female player. She was kicking for Vandy. The Vandy offense stunk and couldn't get into field goal range to give her a chance. I would have loved that. So her only play of the game is the kickoff, and it was a squib kick, and a lot of people were showing how much they know. I actually love it because I think if that kick's a little more left, Vandy might have a chance to recover it, and then how cool would it have been if her only kick was a recovered onside kick and that female onside kicks are returned at a 100% dividend. Good for her. And if you're one of the people out there that doesn't get it, she's the first. She's the first. Hey, we have some dumb societal things. Don't care if you're girl, guy, whatever. If you could go out there and make the field goal, you're on the team. And I think we're getting there, and hopefully as we go, Sarah Fuller will be a name that gets remembered, and hopefully it leads to a lot more of this. So how about that? Vandy and the Broncos showing up big today, BBD.
Football teams making you proud for different reasons.
Yeah, very different, odd reasons.
Very different major weekends for
Yeah.
them. But here we are.
Here we are, Beavers. Who do you got? You got a lot of options listed here.
Yeah, I put a few options. I almost wanted to go with Michael Jordan because I just don't like anything the Hornets are doing.
Sure.
I am giving my bruh of the night to Trevor Plouffe.
Wow.
Because it was, what day? Saturday?
I hate him.
And I get a text from Trevor Plouffe just saying, hey, do you got a link tonight? And I figured out pretty quick he meant for the boxing thing. And I would never have links. You always got to watch things legally.
Right.
But I promised him I'd do some perusing. And, of course, I paid legally and everything.
Right.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But because he sent me on that mission, I watched the Jake Paul fight, and it wasn't on my radar.
Wow.
So
Trevor
then I had to
Plouffe.
watch Nate Robinson, who was my favorite player when I was 10.
Yeah.
So
Get knocked out.
get knocked out by Jake Paul.
Become the joke of the internet. It is crazy how quickly it moves. If you posted a Nate Robinson thing today, you're late.
Yeah.
I pushed the envelope yesterday. I had a tweet where I referenced taking a nap as taking a Nate Robinson. And even that was pushing it. The internet moves so
If you waited
quick.
like 4 more hours, you couldn't.
So Trevor Plouffe is bro of the night.
Bruh of the night.
Bruh of the night. Huge. Coach Trev.
Coach Trev.
Coach Trev. That name's starting to stick. Did you see Hoskins
Yeah.
commented that? So
He's pushing. He wants people to do it,
good.
which I like.
Good. So there are your bros and bras of the night. We had a lot of people there again. 5 days between Wake and Jake's, and a lot happened. Boxing, football.
Trev, you split an award with Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
So
that's huge. Happy for him. All right, what are we watching tonight? Monday Night Football, Seahawks, Eagles, Battle of the Birds. Battle of the Birds there. Interesting for the Eagles. The Seahawks defense is supposed to be world-class bad. So the Eagles offense has been world-class bad. So that'll be interesting. And then Steelers-Ravens are supposed to play Tuesday night. Ravens are full-blown COVID. Steelers were getting mad, and they also had some COVID cases. So some of those tweets were funny to circle out. And then do you have a little college basketball there, BBD?
yeah, I was trying to find a game to highlight. I can start peeking around for those when we do this section. I think it's all like ranked teams playing today.
Okay.
Or each of the 3 games that came up when I searched for them. Ranked teams, but North Carolina UNLV sounded like the most fun. So.
Oh, and I mean, the other game that I left out, I got my Broncos, got Vandy a lot. The CCSU Blue Devils had a huge game against UConn. They couldn't cover the 24-point spread. UConn ran away on them late.
The page I was looking at was just the ranked games.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to fill space while I was looking for the other matchups and making sure this was the one I wanted to say.
Good. So yeah, college basketball is rolling. Kentucky got upset this weekend. I not dialed into the college basketball yet. Houston beat Texas Tech. That was 17 versus 14. So how about that? College football is going too. I think they came out with their first official rankings, top 4. Maybe we'll get more into that. It's tough, man. It's tough, especially like sports normally has a format. It's like, okay, college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, couple college basketball games midweek. Right now I've got no idea what's going on. Games are getting canceled. Bizarre. 2020. All right, guys.
Oklahoma State plays Marquette tomorrow.
Cade Cunningham, your guy.
Cade Cunningham.
Future Nick.
Maybe.
Guys.
Kentucky, Kansas tomorrow.
Thank you. We got some JJR TV coming. Talking Knicks, talking Giants, talking Yanks. Morning, new format. Go check out Morning. You want to.
Just premiered.
Cyber Monday. Get some stuff. Get an ugly sweater. We actually have some really cool designs. Design guy Matt did a great job. Go look at the ugly sweaters.
Couple Wake and Jake designs.
Couple Wake and Jake designs. Might have a couple coming in. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Thank you guys. Bake the algorithm. Love you guys. We'll see you. See you today. All week. We're grinding. Grind until Christmas. And then after. Mike Miner. Huge.
Multi-year deal. Back to the
Multi-year deal.